Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I wasn't going to do a live stream tonight, but man, I've had an exciting day, and I figured I'd um, tune in and see what you all are doing, and let you in on a little bit of what's been going on. At least on my end of the street, and I know it's kind of late, and I know everybody's probably turned in for the night, but I'm hoping we get some new viewers. Hi, Sinsin. How are you? And I want to thank all my new subscribers. And if you want to know when I go live, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified. Hi, Nikki. I got your text, but I was in the middle of trying to put this up. I was not going to go live tonight, but I had a very interesting discussion with Red tonight, and I think he's going to post our telephone conversation on Alice in Intel Land. Maybe he'll come up tonight and tell us where he put that telephone conversation. We spoke for, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour concerning the Brunson situation and what's going on in Brazil and Bolsonaro's and Dirty Joe. I just did a quick thumbnail there where I put in Dirty Joe and Down South. Down South is, I'm referring to the largest country in South America, which is Brazil. I've been on Telegram and spoken with a young man that's been fighting the good fight down there in Brazil and putting himself very much at risk. As you know, they were arresting people, I would say by the thousands. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Lori. Brighter day. How are you? Melinda, Debbie. So nice to see you all. I got two Debbies tonight. Ha. Sometimes I have three. Hi, Mac. Hi, Wanda. Interesting tidbits. How are you doing? And so here we go with the live stream. I didn't see, I've got about 4 channels that I go to for updates on Down South. What are they doing down there? They had their own production of J6 down there, as we all know. They even had their own shaman, 17th letter shaman. So to us, it's very obvious what these people are doing. And wait a minute, I have another app. I hope that is not interfering with my, there we go. I got it out of here. So I've heard estimates of 1,500 people being locked up in that gymnasium. They say they've let some of them go and taken about 500 to 600 to the big house, to a jail. And I have some video of where I see some soldiers in solidarity with the police. Maybe I can put that video up tomorrow with a different streaming service. But anyway, I hope I'm coming in good, folks. John, how you doing? Hi, Kathy. So, B-Dog, how you doing? Sharon, Patriot Missile. I'm hoping to have this young man as a guest. I wanted him to come on, and he's like, well, you know, sometimes he said, I don't care. I walk the streets. I do what I want. And then later on in the conversation, he'll be saying, hey, if you say things out of line, they will arrest you. So, you know, I want him to be a little more careful. And what happened was I went all day and did not see any posts from any of the people that have been sending information from Brazil. Okay. Brazil. That's what I call it. I call it Brazil. And I said to myself, oh my God, they've been arrested. And finally, somebody did post, one person out of the 4. And they said, hey, I'm one of the very few channels that hadn't been taken down. And so I just, you know, hope that we can get together to talk, and I will get with him beforehand. And I will put a link to support his work when he does come up. Just like I have a link. I got a link for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to support the channel. But We don't have anybody putting out information to the people in the United States about what's happening to one of our biggest allies and one of Trump's big political allies, Bolsonaro's, that's in our hemisphere. I don't know what it's going to take for the American people to go, hey, wait a minute. We got a wannabe totalitarian government north of us. We've been having a communist regime to the south of us, 90 miles offshore in Cuba. We had them try to railroad Ronald Reagan because he was trying to protect Nicaragua. We got Venezuela's already fallen. And if you look at a map of our hemisphere, it's not good. And when are people going to wake the heck up? So, as you know, these flights that got shut down today, the only one I saw put in their thumbnail was exactly what I was thinking, was BCP. And I know a lot of you guys watch BCP, Black Conservative Patriot. He put in his thumbnail, first time since 9/11. And that's the truth, folks. First time since 9/11. And I thought to myself, Bolsonaro said, well, I'm going home. I've had these troubles with my stomach, and the doctors know more about it. One thing I didn't get to bring up last night, and many of you who have been with me since the beginning know that I have a movie list of recommended movies for people to watch. And one of them is Dr. Zhivago. That's Zhivago, Zhivago. And that's a movie starring Omar Sharif. It's a famous movie. But there's a scene in there when the older gentleman, these people were people of wealth. Of course, he was a doctor. After World War I and the Bolshevik Revolution occurred, and you have to remember the following year, we suffered the Spanish flu that killed millions, okay? 1918. Oh, well, 1917 is when the Bolsheviks took over. And there's a scene in the movie where these people, when Zhivago got back from the war, he'd found out that his big, beautiful home was full of roustabouts, and a commissar and his wife were in their Communist Party uniforms telling them how it's going to be in their own home, that they have to let these people live there. And they ended up in rags and fending for themselves in a garden. And the old man got a newspaper and opened it up, and he said, oh my God, they've killed the Tsar Nicholas, which, as I alluded to last night, is when the story of Anastasia came about, whether or not she was alive. I didn't know Mike Penny was making stories back then. But anyway, the point of it was, Dr. Zhivago said, they did it so there's no going back. Okay? They destroyed the monarchy. They destroyed his entire family. No heirs to the throne that the average person could point to. No going back. That was the communists taking total control, and they murdered people to do it. They murdered the heads of state and their children and their housekeepers and their help, basically. Took them down in the basement and shot them all. And then they poured acid on them and did everything they could to erase every trace of them ever existing. And that's how vicious these people are. They can't stand on their own philosophies, their own appeals to people to join together in a civil society. They have to use force. They have to use nefarious means. I can't use the word CHEAT, okay? But that's what they got to do. And I'm afraid if Bolsonaro goes back, that they're gonna make sure there is no going back, one way or the other. And I thought when he was hospitalized, I thought maybe somebody poisoned his food or something like that. They're not above that, believe me. So anyway, had a nice conversation with this young man, and hopefully he'll be a guest. And we touched on what caused me to want to jump into the conversation was a lot of people don't like DeSantis, and they were commenting that he's a traitor and this and that. Now, these are people that aren't American citizens, and there are a lot of different views. I got on there and I explained that the Ron DeSantis operation is just like the vote for the Speaker of the House. That was the time for the Republican Party and the Make America Great Again, the America First agenda, the Patriot agenda, the anti-world government agenda is what I'll call it. Instead of MAGA, instead of America First or Make America Great, anti-world government. Okay. For people who don't believe in this type of stuff, but they have been conditioned by a corrupt media to hate Trump so badly, they're being shown that they can still be patriots, they can still resist a new world order, but they don't have to be Trump groupies. That is what I figured out, why Matt Gaetz put Trump's name up. And Trump only got one vote. What that showed millions of Americans is that the House of Representatives is a real movement by diverse people. And like Trump said a couple of times in his speeches, this isn't about me. And it's showing the American people that this movement is not about Trump. It is a separate and distinct thing. And there are other places you can go to participate, like being a fan of Ron DeSantis, like being a fan of Matt Gaetz, like being a fan of what's his name in the House, McCarthy. Okay? Because I say you look at what they do. By their deeds, so shall they be known. Not by what they say, especially not by what the media says about them. That's what I say to people about Trump when they say, ew, you like Trump? I don't care what he says, one thing. I'm worried about what he does. And what he's done, nobody can tell me hadn't been for the benefit of this country and in the long run, the entire world. So, as far as DeSantis is concerned, people think that he's, stabbing Trump in the back or he's a bad person. I remind them that he is a retired Navy SEAL combat commander. Okay? And everything he's done in Florida was exactly what we'll say the anti-NWO people want. Okay, he resisted the mandates. He destroyed the political machine in Florida. I know I've been over this before, but there may be people coming in the chats who have not heard this or will watch this video that have not heard this. McCarthy, what's he done? Trump gave an interview today where he said there was no one else that would have got the left side of the Republican Party. He said it right there. There is a left-leaning part of the Republican Party and enough votes from the right-leaning part of the Republican Party to get in. There was nobody else. And it was starting to look a little stupid. And what his role was to tell Getz to go ahead and get it done, get McCarthy in there and get moving. So we judge McCarthy by what he does, not what he says. So what did he do? Kicked Adam Schiff off. kicked everybody off he said he would. Swalwell, Ilhan Omar, they're gone. They have no power or access. Adam Schiff looked like he was going to cry. He is open for personal lawsuits. Personal lawsuits. This sovereign immunity business, there is a tenet in there of that if you knowingly or maliciously act illegally under the color of law, you lose your sovereign immunity. So not only is he looking at personal lawsuits from people like Paul Sperry, but well known by just about everybody in these chats what kind of criminal issues he may be looking at. So I was thinking about that. Okay, grab him up, charge him with this, charge him with that. He takes that fortune, that $7.5 million or $7.8 million, and pays it to lawyers to defend himself, or leave him out there powerless, leave him hanging out there to dry. Okay, and let people that have been directly hurt by him sue him and get that money. Then you go get him. Okay? Why let him use his fortune, his ill-gotten gains, in my opinion, use it to defend himself? Why not let him face Paul Sperry in a courtroom for a multi-million-dollar lawsuit? Not just him, but every other bum that's done the things they've done. So yeah, it might be a drawn-out process, but it's going to be torture for them, and we're going to watch them squirm. That could be one strategy that everybody needs to think about. Interesting tidbits. Please use a 3 for your ease. That word will get me in trouble. So go ahead and take it down yourself and retype it. Use letters instead of vowels, okay? The TREA word gets me in trouble, okay? Like it never even happened. It's called a keyword. We don't want to be using keywords. Wait a minute, my screen froze up on me. Must be because I'm talking too loud. There we go, it's moving now. So anyway, I hope that makes a little bit of sense to everybody. Patriot Starfighter, how you doing? How you doing, Georgia? Nice to see you, honey. So anyway, I'd like to talk to this person. I think he's getting a lot farther out than he realizes. Okay, a lot more people seeing the stuff he's putting up, and there are fewer and fewer people putting things out, and we don't want to lose him, you know, but we want to be able to support him too. But if I was to put somebody on my channel and something bad happened because of me, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I got to think of a way to make sure that he doesn't have somebody banging on his door. And as I've said in the past, for people that have been with me from the beginning, my mother grew up in Germany when all that stuff was coming up. And I knew when I was very, very young about doors being kicked in, okay? And worse, I don't want to get into it. So that is what people are facing. And one young man, hi, Angela. This one young man pointed out someone he quotes that says, people won't get it until the boot is in their face. And unfortunately for some people, it might take that. Okay, Angela says, all this laundered money through Ukraine will be worthless when new currency is instituted. I understand. I believe that, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be as cut and dry as that. It's going to happen. There is going to be a change in the currency, just like when I put that video up, and I'll play it again in future videos, when Nixon changed our currency from the gold standard to the petrodollar. It happened in the snap of a finger. Okay, imagine a bit. I'm sorry. Okay, There, I snapped my finger. There, I snapped my finger. It happened in a snap. And but no, we're going to pluck their feathers. And the notion that this is not there isn't some kind of design to the events that are happening. People feeling that it's hopeless or that they can't stand it anymore. You know, you got to be a happy warrior. You can't go into despair. You don't do yourself any good and you don't do anybody else any good if things don't work out the way you want. Because look where we're at. When they were raiding Trump's house, did you ever think, boom, here we are. We got another bunch of documents that Creepy Joe, Dirty Joe, that's what I'll call him, Dirty Joe, that he had tucked away when he had no authority to do it. And it's getting out in the mainstream media. And I believe there are certain elements of the mainstream media that have been told, you have to report on this, okay? Because we said so, okay? I think it's getting down to that point. Who's going to have their day? Let's see. Let's see. My screen froze up again. Let me see what's going on. And the chats want to keep up a little bit. Timber. What's this? Oxygen thief. Magatards face a green smiling. Okay. Have a good time, oxygen thief. You know, everybody, even if you're liberal and you hate Trump and everything, you're welcome in the chats. Please don't use any foul language or anything like that. If you want to have, if you got any questions of me, you know, please ask them. I'll engage with you. No problemo. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, you talk about DeSantis in 2028? Yeah, like I said, the DeSantis operation, that is to show people there's somebody else, people that aren't down with some of the really crazy stuff. The extreme left has really taken the reins of the Democrat Party, and like I just noticed, we got somebody that hates Trump and is left leaning in the chats, and that's fine, you know. My almost in-laws were, you know, big Obama fans and all this, but you could still talk with one another. Now, this thing of young people being, I'll say, operated on or getting ingesting things that change their life forever when they're, you know, 13, 14, 15 years old. You know, I think the majority of Americans could say, look, you know, that's got to stop. And so there's a common ground, and Trump is, you know, he's closer to 80 than he is 70. You look at it that way. And he said himself, he's not going to be around forever. So, you know, people have got to find a place they're comfortable with. They got to find a place they're comfortable with. And it's a shame that if people have such a bad taste for the idea of Trump or the name of Trump, that they end up supporting what I just discussed about younger people because they don't like Trump, but they don't like that happening to young people in the schools and everything. You know, well, you got to have somebody different. You got to have somebody that's doesn't irritate certain people, like Trump being, you know, bigger than life or you know, discussing his wealth and his success. And, you know, some people get turned off by things like that. I think somebody that's a little bit more humble, you know, so, but that is why we're going through this exercise of putting forth other personalities in the party so that people have a home to go to. They don't have to say, I'm 100% with Trump, you know, because that's just not going to be the case. So anyway, did he leave Here, I try to get in a conversation with a lefty. Where'd he go? What was his name? Something about Oxygen Thief. You still out there, Oxygen Thief? I'm talking to you, buddy. Well, he took the oxygen and left. Yes, Karen said, hit that like button. Thank you, Karen. So, anyway, where'd he go? Where'd Oxygen Thief go? Lori said, I haven't watched CNN since 1982. You must have had a premonition or something. Yeah, it was nauseating. It's been nauseating for decades. Yeah, that is interesting. The information that came out on Joe's documents after the speaker was selected. And I tell you, it's they're going to have to work together with Elon Musk, and I'm sure they are because this is about waking people up, right? And hey, it makes sense to coordinate. I mean, you look how much the regular media and what do you want, Magtard? Okay. Magatard. Okay. That's not nice, but that's okay. You can do what you want. I was wondering if you were listening to what I was saying, or are you the type of person who supports what I was saying, being introduced to young people at schools? You know, I'm just saying that Trump isn't the only choice in the Republican Party anymore. And if you want to go with the extreme left, that does that sort of stuff with kids in school, I don't know what to say to you, you know? Yeah, they got McCarthy in the straitjacket. Well, he's crazy like a fox. I mean, that business of him walking up to Mac Gaetz right there at the end before they voted for him, that reminded me of a business strategy my father told me many, many years ago. There comes a point when you got to let that dog come to you. You let that dog come to you. And that was a visual for people to see that the right side of the party that been controlling, I don't want to call them neocons, war hawks, or anything like that, but you know who I'm talking about. The rhino part of the party is bowing down. Okay. And Oxygen Thief said he supports prison for traitors. Well, you got to take Oxygen Thief, you got to take that A and make it a 4. You got to use letters or YouTube will take your comment down. Okay. And if that happens, you'll be gone for 5 minutes. You won't be able to comment. But I would put that up on the screen if you had a 4 in there, or a 1 for the I or a 4 for the A, because they just do a blanket thing to take people's comments down. Okay. So anyway, it's terms of use thing. So anyway, Gaetz is releasing the hidden 14,000 videos. Okay, well, that's going to be very interesting. So I don't know if you're still out there, Oxygen Thief. Gaetz is going to release the hidden 14,000 videos that's going to show who was who were the window breakers, who were the ones that were taking crowbars to the doors. And we get that information. You can jump right on board with us, Oxygen Thief, and you got 5 minutes. You'll be back in 4 minutes. No big deal. You can do 4 minutes standing on your head, Oxygen Thief. That's just the way it goes. It was like, Nikki, I wanted to tell you about that on where I was talking about that one live stream where so many chats were getting taken down right and left. And you said, well, the mods were doing a good job. They were. They were. But, and I learned this from NPC show, that there are certain words that the YouTube machine will take out, period. And you don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. They'll just take them out, the comment. So I did not know that. Yes, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. This is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I have a link for Buy Me a Coffee in the description. So what I'm saying is I came up live tonight to tell you that keep an eye on things, because I may have somebody who is living in Brazil, and has been there and seen the reports firsthand and talking to his friends and neighbors what's going on, and has been forwarding a lot of videos that we have watched. And like I said, there was probably about 4 channels that were putting out stuff, and this is the only one that posted today, and that was after going the whole day without posting. I thought every single one of them was in jail. So Trader Trump, yeah, sure. So you came in late because I just had a conversation with Oxygen Thief, and you might want to go listen to as far as what I was saying about people who can't stand Trump need to have a place to go, right? Unless they're down with the far left, especially the business of introducing things in school to kids that make them do stuff when they're 13, 14 years old that changes their life forever. And you know what I'm talking about without me having to get explicit. Whatever somebody wants to do is whatever somebody wants to do. But when they're 13, 12, 14, whatever, and they end up having some kind of surgery or something, we have to all agree that that is a little scary. And we're going to have people in the future that are suffering from that. That when they become, what do they call it? The age of the majority is the way they used to put it. They used to be 21 is when they became the age of the majority, is an old timey way of saying whatever. But when they do get to be 18 years old, 20, 22, and they go, wait a minute, I did this to myself when I was 14 and it ain't working out. There's going to be blowback for that. So tell someone who cares, MAGA. Well, I can kick you out real quick, Trader Trump, but I'm just having a conversation. If you want to be part of it, fine. If you want to, behave foolishly, fine. But it is funny to see your new terms, MAGAT. That's funny. So like I said, I was replacing the MAGA term with the anti-NWO term. What would be a good way to put that? No NWO, NO-NWO. Maybe that. Instead of 4 letters, we'll make it however many that adds up to. NO-NWO. I mean, who wants a new world order? I mean, does Trader Trump want it? New world order? Does Oxygen Thief want a new world order? Do they want 19, 20-year-olds finding themselves in mental distress for the rest of their lives because of what somebody did to them when they were 13? I mean, is that what you all want? I don't know if it's troll or not, Georgia, but that is the image the majority of Americans are seeing on not the Democrat Party. I said I'm old enough where Democrats were Hubert Humphrey, Mo Udall, John F. Kennedy, Harry Truman, and people of that liberal mindset, social liberals, that's a part of life, and they have their thoughts on how to. There you go. George put in non-woe. Okay, that's one more letter, right? NOW. NWO. So anyway, but now the Democrat Party's been taken over by people who want to allow the things I just discussed and promoting bug eating and getting rid of the cows and all this kind of stuff that, hey, people, who wants that, right? He will be indicted. You uneducated hick. Traitor Trump. Well, he hadn't done anything wrong. And if you can say something statutorily that he's done against the law, you can't. You can't. All it is media finger pointing and insults, kind of like your comment. And I guarantee you that at my age, if I never spent a day in school, I got more knowledge in my pinky finger than you got. And I'm going to tell you the name that I will refer to you as Junior. Okay, Junior? I've been around the block, buddy. And you will spend a lifetime walking around the block before you catch up with me. So you want to talk about the points I talked about, which are what is happening to kids in school, about whether or not you're going to eat a cricket cookie or a worm pie burger, if that's the kind of life you want to live, but the majority of Americans don't. If Donald Trump did anything illegal at all, he would already be taken care of. He'd already be in jail, but all they can do is accuse and finger point. Now, they've shown how Biden has taken millions and millions of dollars out of Ukraine before he was ever president, how his brother and his son helped him take those millions, launder that money, and how they have been, what is the term Musk uses, taking advantage of, what is it? What's the term he uses? Grasshopper pie. Yeah. He loves the uneducated. He says it himself. Yeah, people that go to Columbia University, Harvard University, they haven't learned anything. They've learned a communist attitude and philosophy, but other than that, they're dumb as a post. So the people that don't go to these higher learning, those places are going to collapse themselves. We're going to find out about that $40 billion endowment that Harvard has, and a lot of that money's come from China. We're finding out too, Penn State is where Biden had his classified documents. And what did I talk about Penn State the last time? You guys weren't in the chats, Trader Trump. You weren't in the chats back then, but I was talking about how they had so-called FETUS, okay? You know what that spells, right? But they arrested a bunch of professors at Penn State because they allegedly had that number of those that they claimed were 10 months old, 11 months old, 12 months old, experimenting on them. Now that's hideous because everybody knows gestation is 9 months. So how in the world could you have an 11 and 12-month-old bag of cells that's living? Okay, what they have is a human being, and they've been put in jail. Okay, yeah, he had you're calling me a foul name. But Trump had a $200 Chinese bank account about 4 years before he even ran for office because he was considering doing business there. And Hunter Biden took out over $1 billion from China. So I'm going ahead and get you out of here for 5 minutes until you can understand that you don't cuss people or use that kind of language when you're addressing me, okay? And if you do it again, you'll just be gone for good. You want to live and learn, fine. If you want to cause trouble, go somewhere else. Okay, so you got 5 minutes to think about it. So anyway, let's see. Any more fun people that can't communicate without petty little accusations and insults? They want to have a conversation. That'd be nice. It'd be wonderful to have a conversation like that with someone on the other side. Because, you know, when you get down to what the stuff I was talking about, you know, the grasshopper burgers and stuff like that is bad enough. But when you get down to 11 and 12-month-old bags of cells alive being experimented on at Penn State, which happens to be the same place that Joe Biden had his classified documents hidden, and you get down to what I was talking about, surgeries on 13-year-olds, and people don't take that seriously, don't look for a solution. They just, act like children in the chats. You have to wonder about these people. You really have to wonder about them. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, you know, people go into different videos and they get in the chats and they're anonymous feeling. They feel like no one knows who they are, and they get more emboldened, and they say things that they would never say to somebody to their face, especially me. If they were sitting face to face with me, I guarantee you those words would not come out of that young mouth. So anyway, so I look forward to having a guest, and I got to see how I send them a link so they can join me. And Nikki was saying we might do a Q&A on her show, right, Nikki? And I haven't seen Auction Thief. His 5 minutes is up. He was putting words in there that shouldn't have been. So I don't know. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. So we might do a Q&A on Nikki's program, and then I have to figure out how to give this young man a link so he can discuss with us. Now, he had a totally different perspective on this, like I said, Ron DeSantis, and I kind of cued him in. And what I wanted to tell him was, this is to us, very complicated information operation, influence operation that's been going on for years. And the main goal is to retain, maintain, reclaim our Constitution and our system of government with the least amount of human suffering, civil unrest, and strife as possible. And we got one shot at it. Okay? And this is the shot we're taking. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. So I hope that his listeners got something from that. I was reading the chats and the comments. There were frustrated people, but they all seemed very nice and on the same page. And when you think about how many people were talking about that 17 letter, and that far away in Latin America, here we got another one. Trader Clown. Okay, nice to meet you. You missed a lot. Excuse me. A lot of the discussion I had earlier with similar people who were making fun of Trump and doing all this. So I'm not going to go over it again, but if you want to have a conversation, that's fine. So if you don't like Trump, there's plenty of people in the Republican Party or independent, like, he's the libertarian, Rand Paul. plenty of people that you can fall back on. The question is, what kind of country you want to have? What kind of do you want a new NWO? Do you want that? Do you want them telling you what to eat and what kind of car to drive? And do you believe that young lady? What's her name? Thunberg, Miss Thunberg. Do you believe her? Same troll, different channel. I'll be darned. So, yeah, I mean, there are people who just aren't going to like Trump no matter what. He rubs them the wrong way. But it's the people that want to find solutions to problems. That's why they're giving them these alternatives, like Ron DeSantis, like Rand Paul, like Ted Cruz, like Matt Gaetz, like McCarthy. And that is the reason I believe Trump only got one vote for House Speaker. That was everybody making a stand, saying, agreeing with Trump, saying it's not about him. I think it's Angela. I think it's going to be a coalition of libertarians, independents, and Republicans. Now, see, you're using foul language, oxygen thief, so I'll just throw you out. You're gone for good. You can go take a bath. You're out. You've been warned. So I think Nikki got you. Because you were warned. So, whoops. I put one up on NWO. You got to kind of be careful with that. So, Nikki, did you get that guy? Oxygen thief? I mean, how hard is it not to use foul language? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, really. If you're an adult, you can communicate without using that kind of language. I mean, I cuss every now and then. Like I say, I cuss when there needs to be cussing. Oh, okay, Nikki got him. Yeah, I want to be able to see what they say. So he's gone. He was given a chance, and he waited his 5 minutes, came back and said something stupid. So stupid is as stupid does. You, what is it? FAFO. Yeah, FAFO. So that's what happened to him. FAFO. Yeah, they just they don't have a life, I guess. Lori said she blocked him a long time ago on different channels. So I don't know what happens when they get so bored. I guess they start another channel and come in, blah, blah, blah. Or they get, if you don't get into a back and forth trading insults or get on their level, they just get bored and go away. Trader Clown's still out there, and I was asking, if you don't like Trump, do you like Rand Paul? Do you like, or is it okay to show books in schools to children that we know is, very objectionable? Yeah, we got losers for Trump. And I'll ask you the same question, losers for Trump. I mean, are you sold on that, where kids see that kind of stuff and they get talked into having operations and things that are going to damage them for the rest of their lives when they're too young to know? Or do you need to find somebody else besides Trump to have that stuff stop, like Rand Paul, or I don't think Bernie Sanders agrees with that kind of stuff, but he's gotten quiet and he just took his loss to Hillary and everybody knows he got a raw deal, but you don't hear him complaining. But what they do, scare him or what? He's old. I don't know. But there are other choices besides Trump. And there are other choices than people that try to, let's see, who's for Trump? Okay. Well, you can't have a conversation without being a fool. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to sit around and do whatever you do. And you can come back in without being insulting and answer the questions I ask you. 5 minutes. And if I quit my live stream before then it's too bad for you. But if you come back, fine, answer my question. And when you come back for your 5 minutes, goodbye. So that's 3 we had. What a life. Can you imagine that? I mean, how can you enjoy your life when that's what you do? What are you dribbling about, redneck? And why would you take your channel and create a name, the names that we've seen? Oxygen thief isn't bad. That's kind of, you can take that any way you want. But to go out of their way, losers for Trump. I mean, what kind of name is that? Why don't you say winners for whoever you want? Or what? Do you want AOC? Huffing gas? I don't know. Well, she was huffing a gas stove. Is that what somebody was saying earlier? Haha, Lori, you didn't see his because I think I gave him 5 minutes. If he comes back without cheap insults and answers questions in a intelligent way. Lefties are welcome to say their points. I mean, I remember when everybody was, oh, if you're against George Bush, you're not for the country. Well, turns out that all those wars, we're finding out, those endless wars were for personal gain for a lot of politicians. And a lot of young people lost their lives, lost their arms and legs. Like, well, whether you agree with Trump or not, or like him or not, he said that there's nothing over there we need but blood and sand. That's what he said. That's why we have to get out of those wars, those endless wars. But back in the 90s, it was this big thing. Oh, we got to be for Bush. If you're not for Bush, you're a communist. So that was all scam. And McCain, and it turns out McCain is one of the biggest was one of the biggest warmongers out there. But they ran the Republican Party. Not anymore. Hey, Red. You just spelled it right out. The 3-letter agency. So, did you get a chance to put up my phone conversation there, Red? And you, hey, Red, can you change that thing to where you spell C and then I-E-Y-E and then put A, C-I. See the I? And that way it, no machines zero in on me. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? I'm seeing where if Red heard me, did you get a chance to put? Oh yeah, that's a bad word. Did you get a chance to put our phone conversation up? I told everybody you and I had a phone conversation this morning about all the planes being down and all that other stuff we talked about. And these characters that get on here that we just either put in timeout. Maybe if they come back, fine. Or the one I had to block because he just kept using nasty language. But they could come on here and talk about stuff like we talked about, Red, like what happened to tomorrow morning, Mountain Man in the movie. Okay. We talked about the planes being grounded. We talked about what happened to JFK. We talked about a lot of different things that should be everybody should be interested in as to what's going on in their lives and what people who have control over our lives are doing behind our backs. I mean, you would think that is something that the majority of Americans would enjoy talking about or learning about, rather than automatically insulting people. There may be people in my chats that like DeSantis more than Trump, okay? So why would you smear everybody with the same brush? They might like Rand Paul more. So like I said, we're a many-faceted party. We have many facets, but we have one goal, which is to keep ourselves out of a situation where we become debt slaves to European or foreign powers that want to change our lifestyle or run our lives, or even worse, end our lives. Okay? Okay, Mountain Man in the movie tomorrow morning. Okay, now is that going to be on Alice in Intel Land? Oh, they don't care. Okay, I'm reading what Georgia said. They don't care about anything, including themselves. You are over the target, so you're getting trolls paid to disrupt. Well, hey, sometimes information and learning about what's happening in your life is more than the little nickels and dimes they get to try to mess with some little old man like me with a phone. Maybe it'll wake them up and it'll be one less troll, because there's a lot of other things you can do on the internet and make more money than going around trying to bother some old man with a phone. And if I ask them a question that puts something in their mind, and they say, wait a minute, maybe there's something to that. So who knows? Anyway, folks, we're going to keep it under an hour. I appreciate y'all spending your time with me. As I said, I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out. And please hit the like, share, subscribe. If you want to be part of the chats in the future, know when I go live, you subscribe and you hit the bell notification. And I have got a tremendous amount of videos I've been doing since March of last year that have been uploaded to RUMBLE, and that is on Mountain Man Speaks, all one word, Mountain Man Speaks. You can go through there and look up any subject, the 25th Amendment, Putin and the laws of war, international RICO. Okay, these are things we're going to be hearing in the future. Okay, Chuck Grassley calling out the media in a verbal indictment on the Senate floor. All kinds of stuff. I've done probably 200 videos. Okay, so anybody that's new, I'm just giving that information because everybody that's been with me for a long time already knows it. So thank you for putting up with me. You all have a great night, and I'll be talking to you soon. This is Mountain Man over and out.